Hello everyone, I wanted to do a very short vlog for you today on a crafting post that I'm doing. And what I'm going to be doing is making my own box frame with one similar to this. Now you can pick these up at a variety of places, even in pound shops, which is where I got this one from. If you want better quality, you want to look at somewhere like Dunelm, somewhere like that does a lot of homeware stuff. But basically I'm going to be using this box frame, taking out the piece of glass inside, and then using a variety of 3D items such as these, which I had in my Artemis and Xena box, and that was from a couple of months ago, and I haven't had time to do anything with them yet, so I'm going to be making this 3D frame, and I'm going to be using one of my nature photographs as well. I haven't quite decided which one I'm going to use, but basically a long time ago, before I was a blogger, I was a nature photographer, and I'm lucky enough to be published, but it just doesn't come round, enough for me to make any money out of it, which is such a shame. I don't really class myself as a professional photographer anymore because I don't do it and I don't have the time to do it. So yeah, I like to still do it as a hobby, and I love to make things out of it and be creative, but unfortunately it doesn't pay the bills for me. So even though I love it, and here's a couple of examples that I'm thinking of using. And the frame I got was 6x4, so my plan is to use the image as a background and then use a variety of things to layer up on top. I've got all sorts of things. I have some resin flowers which I can use along the bottom, along the base, and I also have these gorgeous little wooden mushrooms. I think they'll work really well. And I've even got, my nan bought me some 3D butterfly stickers as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to photograph my way through doing it and put it all in one long post for you, so like a before and after picture. And I'm going to be doing bits of video, show you how I do it. I've also got some wooden flowers as well. If anybody wants to know where I've got any of these things from, it's mostly places like Dunelm, The Works and other crafty places, but I will make a list of all the things that I do use in order to make the frame, and obviously the finished item as well. So I hope you'll get crafty with me and maybe try one yourself. Do let me know in the comments, either on the vlog or the blog, if you do decide to make anything. But yeah, I love being crafty, and I think it's one of those things I've always done, and I've always find it quite therapeutic. And there's something really satisfying about having your own work on the wall, and I do that with my nature. I have some, framed nature photographs that I've taken, that I've made and framed, and I love that aspect. It's unique. No one else has those in their home. So in a similar way, if you have something to do over the summer holidays, maybe with some children, then this is a really fun thing to do. And like I say, you can pick up a variety of crafting things. It doesn't have to be nature related like I'm doing. It could be superhero related. I know there's loads of things out at the moment that you can go and get and maybe build them up into one image. It's really easy to do, like decoupage, or to have something in the background so that it's raised and it looks like it's coming out of the frame. Really easy to do, and I hope you'll really enjoy the finished product. So my husband would say I'm a bit of a hoarder, especially when it comes to craft items. But you never know when you're going to want something. Like this bird, for example. I must have had it in a drawer now for about 3 or 4 years. It came off a cheap necklace and the back part actually broke off. So I couldn't really do much with it as it doesn't have any hook or anything on it. But it would be lovely to glue to a frame like the one I'm using, so I might use that bird. And I want to talk about buttons. Buttons can be really handy, really useful, especially if you get a set, a cheap set from the pound shop or something like that. These cat ones are lovely. They were only £1. And then we should also consider wood. If you've got a wooden frame, you might want to use wooden shapes. And then of course you have plastic variety. And these flowers are very nice. Again, these last few things are all from the works, and as you can see by the tags, they're only £1 each. And they'll go a long way. You don't need a huge amount unless you're doing several frames, but they're a good idea to consider playing around with. You could make people gifts for birthdays or Christmas. And this piece of card was actually a flower pot, which was around a bunch of flowers that I had last year. And I kept it because the butterflies were so pretty on the side. I'm probably going to cut these out. I'm not sure if I'll use them on this project, but it's definitely worth keeping. So the next thing you need to consider is if your items don't have any sticky adhesive on the back of them, which I must admit a lot of the works stuff does, so do have a look before you buy. But Pritt Stick is a really good one for sticking very light things down, especially if you're going to be layering. It won't cause excess glue such as PVA. PVA is very good and it will stick to a variety of things, but it might get a little bit messy. I've also come across recently these glue dots, and they're between 2 layers of plastic. You put the first, peel the first one off and place it on the area you want, and then when you're ready to put the item on the opposite side, then you peel off the second layer to expose the plastic dot of glue. I haven't tried them yet. I will be using them for this project though, so watch this space. And finally, double-sided tape, especially if you're using things that are very flat, like card or paper related items. That is very, very handy to have around. So I just want to talk a little bit now about my thought process and what goes into making one of these frames. I particularly like to take examples from nature. So, for example, this photograph that I've got here was after a rain shower, and it had accumulated on these leaves, and it was very beautiful, as you can see. And it reminds me of a very green, very dense forest. And what I think of when I think of forests are butterflies and insects and mushrooms and fungi and things like that. So what I would plan to do in example with this would be to have this image inside the frame and build up the butterflies on top so that we have a 3D effect, and then I would actually have the mushrooms at the bottom, but obviously attached to the wood. And you can build on this, you can layer on this, you can have the 3D butterflies like these coming out of the frame, and you can also use the frame itself, so you can glue things to the outside surface and layer upon layer until the image sort of pops out at you. In my photograph, you can see the water here. It's three-dimensional. You can see it almost looks like the droplets are right there for you to touch. And what I want to do is create this sort of forest scene which you would get after a rain shower, and all the insects come out to enjoy the liquid on the leaves and that kind of thing. If you need inspiration, you can go online, you can look at images, or you can look up library books and various things like that to get some inspiration. Or even better, you can just go for a walk, see what you can see, take a little notepad with you, write some ideas down, and then you'll know what sort of scene you want to create. I want mine to be one of calm. I'm going to have this on my desk, so when I'm working and I look at it, I want to feel calm and at peace and with nature. And what I might do is as well, I might do several frames for you, and then I will explain each one and how I came to the conclusion of making them with a variety of different images. I hope that you'll like the finished product. I'm going to put it all together and I'm going to let it dry for a day or so, and then I will video the final frame. So I've already begun to stick certain things on. Some of them were already sticky. And what I'm going to do now is take the other bits and I'm going to use PVA glue in order to stick them on. PVA needs quite a little bit of time to dry fully, but it's really versatile, and because it dries clear as well, if you make any mess, it's not so bad. So there's my first little mushroom, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this and build it up, and then I'm going to show you the finished product. So in the last clip you would have seen me explaining how I would have done my nature frame, but what I thought I'd do would be to do a lot of themes and show you how you would use each one in a frame such as this size. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the seaside frame, and what I've done is I've collected lots of shells and stones from the beach, and I've managed to find an old photograph from when I went to Greece, and I've put that in as the background. And then what you need to do is make sure that all of your stones and shells are clean and dry, and then you'll be able to glue the ones that you want to the wood on the frame. It's quite difficult to show you when they're not stuck down. And another thing you can do is stick some to the outside if they're small enough. What would be really nice is to overlap them so that they look like they are coming out and you're actually walking towards the scene. So that's my first frame. The second one is the nature one, which I was talking about the other day. I managed to get some beautiful resin plastic flowers, and the detail on those is really, really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the butterflies that are 3D to the actual glass inside the frame, and I still plan to stick my mushrooms to the bottom part. The larger butterfly is going to go on the outside of the frame as if it's coming out from the scene. And I'm going to see if I can find anything else as well to brighten it up, because although these flowers are gorgeous, I think it would be really nice to put a little bit more colour in there. I've got purple, blue and red so far, so watch this space. I'm going to see what I can find to finish that one off. And then lastly, if you have any children that are doing anything indoor related during the summer holiday and they might need some activities, how about making a kids frame? So their favourite thing might be superheroes, or it might be Lego. So you can get these little Lego characters in packets or in supermarkets, in toy shops and various things, and they're perfect size. And I've just broke her shield. They are the perfect size to go inside these frames. You can stand them up, and what would be really, really cool is if you had some spare pieces of Lego that you didn't mind using, you can attach those to the edge of the frame, and then you've got your characters, which you can either have stuck down or they can just be placed inside the frame. For the background, I recommend you using either a nice pattern from, say, a kid's wallpaper, or perhaps some wrapping paper. You can get superhero wrapping paper. I'm sure a lot of you with children might have a regular magazine subscription or something like that. You can take snippets, get your children to do a collage or a drawing, and that can be the background, and then you can use items such as the Lego to make the frame really stand out and be really three-dimensional. So here is my finished frame so far. As you can see, I've managed to put flowers and butterflies and the mushrooms on there. It is still drying at the moment and needs to be left for about 24 hours before you mess with it again, but I think it's really, really nice, and I can't wait to add a little bit more to the outside. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed seeing how I've made these box frames. And like I said earlier on in the video, if you manage to do one yourself, I'd love to see the results. Please leave me a comment either on the vlog or on the blog. You've been watching Sabrina of 7 Wishes on how to make your own 3D box frame. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to check out the blog, www.severnwishes.co.uk.